Alright, back for another video. I think I'll call this one Making Sense of the Super Bowl 2021 Super Bowl. Making Sense of 2021's Super Bowl. Okay. Alright. I didn't watch not 1 second of the game. No pre-game, post-game, halftime show, no nothing. I was doing other things before the game even came on, so before the game even came on. So I haven't watched sports in years really, but I've come to know that it's a correlation. I've been saying that word a lot lately. Correlation. Things that might not look like they're in the same vein or in the same family of things, but through breaking things down, they have a lot of similarities. So, similarities. When something told me, I said, hey man, why don't you go see who won the game? Because I'm not rooting for nobody. I don't have any money placed down for anybody or any certain team who's going to win MVP or none of that. As I told you before, I don't watch sports anymore. 31 just passed. Well, 131 just passed. 13, 31. That's going to be very, very important numbers in this video. So let me get right to it. I don't want to lose you because I'm really holding on to something. When I saw it, I said, let me see who won the game. So when I went online and saw, like, oh, okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won, and the Kansas City Chiefs lost. Okay, first things first. Let's get the simple out of the way. Make this very simple. This part very simple. So, uh, I didn't know. I heard people talking about Brady, like when everything was getting ready to get started up. I didn't know they were gonna have a football season to begin with. So I was like, I guess it's still going on. I guess. So I just keep on doing what I'm doing. So, months pass. I'm like, the season's already over. I'm like, okay, cool. So, but I didn't know he got traded. I don't know if it was traded or the Patriots decided to let him go in order to release him or whatever. So I'm like, I didn't know anything about that. So come to find out, like I just hearing that Brady was on the actual Buccaneers, didn't even know it. So me, I'm looking like in my mind, I'm like context clues, words, where is it at, all that. I'm like, where's the Super Bowl at? It's like this past week. I didn't know where it was at. I looked it up, Tampa Bay. I'm like, why would it be in Florida twice? Because I was if you look up one of my old videos from last a year ago, a year and 5 days, I was at the Super Bowl, doing what I do there. So next thing I know, um, it was in Miami. I was there. So this was in Tampa Bay, and that's a little bit higher north, leading up, like right in the middle, damn near like of Florida. So I'm like in my mind, I'm like, why would they do have two Super Bowls in the same state? They rarely do it at all. So I was like in my mind, I'm like, something is up about this. So I'm like, if Brady's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they having a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. So this was already pre-planned, pre-plotted. Um, I didn't even know he was on the team. So it doesn't make sense for the Patriots to either release him or trade him. So I was in my mind like this has got to be something behind this. So let's get right to it. The Buccaneers end up having the Super Bowl at their stadium, so that gives him a home game. Um, so if he has a home game, he's relaxed. It's not really. He could be very tedious. He's been in a lot of Super Bowls, but You gotta think if he's at home, everything is on his mind is conquer and destroy, right? So, but it goes further beyond the physical, as in the physical people. So when I found out the Super Bowl was held in Tampa Bay, and I didn't know, I found out he was on the team. I'm like, this is gonna be something funny. So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, what they did was they actually using the people because Tampa Bay is heavily populated by highly melanated people or so-called black people in Tampa Bay, Florida. So so you got a battery. So if you watch any of my old videos, I guess you can type in black people used as batteries in movies, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'll give a quick synopsis or a quick background on what I mean. Um, so when you actually look at it, when they use somebody as a battery, or some people as a battery, that means they give the energy. People always give energy when you rooting for somebody, cheering for somebody, booing somebody. That's energy given to another person or a thing or whatever it is. But you've become a plug for the energy. So now they're accepting the energy. So the people of Tampa Bay is actually giving the energy or the power to the team or actually to win. But if you look at it, Buccaneers. So Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus um, the Chiefs. Chiefs are Aboriginal people. Kansas City is known for Indian or Native American, or native or primitive. Primitive is prime, that which is first. So primitive is not a bad thing at all. So the Buccaneers, like pirates, pirates. Come to find out, the Moors, they became pirates once they was kicked off of certain countries or certain lands in Europe. They was just robbing everything. They were just taking things back that they were teaching people or giving to people. They were just taking other things back. So I was looking at it like, is only I wasn't in my mind. I was like, I was looking forward to something. I said, but it's always got to be something behind it. And I was like, okay. So I did what I did today. I don't have to get into it. So when I did what I did today, and I, doing some studying a little bit, and the next thing I know, I said, let me look and see who won the game. So of course, it's about in my time, it's 12:40 something right now at this very moment, 12:40 a.m. Um, it would be Monday. So next thing I know, I'm looking. I looked at the standings. The standings tell everything. You watch football, you don't have to watch anything. You don't have to watch the whole game. You can tell the tempo of of the score of the game. So when I seen the standings, the scorecard, I noticed um, the Buccaneer. No, the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. They scored a field goal in the first, a field goal in the second, and a field goal in the third. That means what? 3-3-3. Give me a second. Okay, I'm going to be starting out in this book, SEKHEM APEP, Typhonian Vampire Magic by Michael W. Ford, Apophis, first edition. So I'm going to get into it. Okay, right here, this the author is asking a certain person that's actually in studying um, the Typhonian tradition. He asked him about the abyss, entering the abyss, CHORNOZON. Okay, CHORNOZON has been long feared as a force the magician must contend with. If failing, this very vampiric daemon may consume the essence of the magician. Have you had any experience with CHORNOZON and how does it serve to awaken your mind further? For me, cortisone represents all and none, both the malleable and intangible thought. When I crossed the abyss, I did so without fear of the consequences, since I knew that when I entered into this path, that desire, love, and the true will were the only ways for me to achieve a greater understanding of life as well as death. Now, let me show you something. Now, did I just say, right? Now, this is only a few hours after the Super Bowl ended. I didn't watch any of it. I only watched the scorecard, the standings. You just see how they scored periodically throughout different quarters. So, as he says, he continues on. Cortisone in this aspect has been a teacher of sorts, continually testing me and grounding me physically and mentally. Nothing is as it seems. Remember that. The Chiefs, they lose, right? 31-9 is the total score, right? 31, I'm going to get into that. 13, 31, I'm going to get into that. Nothing is as it seems, and the mind itself can flow with the current or drown beneath the waves. For me, I would rather swim upstream because that has always been the way I know that I am in contact with the 333 current. The more struggle ensues, the further into the abyss I have gone. And 333 is what? Cortisone. Cortisone is a spider. So that's one of the first numbers I've ever seen. And I see a lot of different numbers, but that's one of the first numbers I've ever seen. Not knowing I would be getting into what I've been getting into with this information. So cortisone, and this is a picture they have in the book. Let me see if I can get to it without pausing. Yes, I can. This is a picture of cortisone right here. Now, when I seen this picture when I first got this book, I was like, this looks very familiar. Now, this is cortisone. Let me get into the details of it. Cortisone, the Dothian Spider, by Marco Zelos, utilized as a sigil entering the abyss as cortisone with the Black Order of the Dragon. Okay, so as you see, this is cortisone drawn by Marco Zelos. So I'm looking like, where have I seen this for? I wrote this down. You see my handwriting. I wrote this. I'm like, oh, I've seen this from the movie Hellraiser 2. And it's what 1313 just passed. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, you don't see him with the 8 legs as a spider, but he's connected to something from the abyss. So and there's a line he has said, and to think almost denied this, or I almost didn't want this to happen. So like you have to go, like they were saying, going through what you're going through, you're gonna end up making yourself even more stronger. So let me get back to the book. So that's what you get. You got a visual of what cortisone looks like. So I'm gonna go down to the bottom right here. Cortisone teaches the value of constancy and change. Like they always say, the only thing is the same is change. Everything always changes. A balancing of the sacred and profane, being truly a study for me into the introspective and lonely. So change as in, so when you saw they scored three field goals and they didn't score any touchdowns throughout the game, the Chiefs I'm speaking of, that's showing you that the beings from the outside, or what they call the great old ones, are coming in through this year a lot heavier. So last year it was the year of Ma'at 2020, 2020, two twos and two zeros balance. So as you see, look, balancing of the sacred is the higher self and the profane, the lower self, being truly a study for me into the introspective and lonely. That means going into the inner self, the dark side of the self. Inside, light can only come from darkness. Darkness doesn't come from light. Okay? So, what we're going to do is get into the number 31, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored 31 points, right? Okay, here we go. All right, the next book I'm reading out of is The Ninth Arch. The Ninth Arch by Kenneth Grant and Steffi Grant, his wife. All right. So now the number 31, as I said before, the Buccaneers scored 31 points, right? So as pieces of the Silver Star, La or LA 31 with the Ardam Matra Majin 93. That's the number of AWAS. So I'm gonna keep going though. Equals 124. And 31 times 4 equals 124. Finally, Lamb. So what we're going to do is go into the index and show you who Lamb is. Well, not the index, in the glossary. Okay, so Lamb, get it focused so you can see what I'm seeing, and I'm not making up anything. You can go get this book for yourself. Lamb, literally the way, the path, tunnel, or passageway. Lamb is also the name of an alien entity who led from Sirius, the second invasion of Earth around 12,000 years ago. Lamb and company landed on the plateau of Ling in Southeast Asia, Southeast China, on the borders of Tibet, and were all but exterminated by terrestrials. Terrestrials are people that are actually on Earth. Extraterrestrials are outside of Earth, just in case you didn't know. With a few survivors, Lamb penetrated to the land of the dragon, Bhutan, where they established their cult in mountain fastnesses. Their descendants became known in the Buddhist era as the Dropas or Zopas. Those who follow the way, Lamb of the Dragon, some claim their provenance to have been the star Gamma Draconis, the dragon Draconis. That's the star that's before let's see, you'll make a dragon with the star Draconis, Orion's belt, and Sirius. It makes a complete dragon. Okay, Crowley encountered Lamb during a magical working in the USA in 1918 when he broke off an ongoing seance with the wizard Amal Entra. Mal, or means melanin, okay? Or Abramelin means melanin. Wizard Amalentra, in order to sketch the entity. It is probably the first drawing from life of a praetor-human intelligence. See the Magical Revival, plate 5. That's a book that Kenneth Grant came out with too also. So let me get you back to the number 31. Okay, the oracle and the verse number combined, as you see, 33113. Number combined and presented as 13331 contain useful keys. The numbers 13 and 31 So these are just numbers that are backwards. Okay, 31 is 13. Just another way of expressing it. They have different meanings, but the meaning, the dot in the middle of the circle, is actually your actual soul or the pineal gland. So when it comes up, as in lamb, or as they say, the alien, highly melanated people, or so-called black people, we are the aliens. So there's no point of when you see these movies or action films or sci-fi films, you're actually rooting against yourself. If you're actually rooting for the alien to get killed. Okay, this is a way we can actually harness power instead of giving away to some people that want us to die. Remember what I said about Draconis, the dragon. So if you, I'm gonna show this book. I have a picture, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna remember. The numbers 13 and 31 here designate the lunar current in connection with the cult of Ku. Ku is a pyramid, okay? Who live on the shades of motionless or souls of the dead. The Ku was constellated by the ancients. Ancients are only highly melanated people, dark-skinned people, so-called black people. So let's keep it going. As the ghoul, which is what? A ghost, the souls of the dead, by the ancients, constellated by the ancients as the ghoul, the star Beta in the Perseus group. Who signifies a shining being. Okay, remember, light can only come from the darkness. Luke, I am your father. He's Doth, Daath on the Kabbalah. So only light can go to the pineal gland from what? Doth on the back of the neck. The Abdullah oblongata, same thing. All right. As a shining being, 13331 contains the numbers 11 and 333. The former is a number of the outer ones. Remember I said how CHORNOZON is part of the outer ones? Okay. Part of the old outer ones. As the one beyond 10. It signifies those outside or beyond the tree of life. Thus, 11 also denotes the Kalipoth. 333 is the number of several Typhonian concepts investigated in these Typhonian trilogies, and therefore we can confine our remarks to the following. This is CHORNOZON. You know how I know? CHORNOZON, that's what that means. And that so when you see these letters like these, it's gonna represent something else in a signification. CHORNOZON, Chagall, or the jackal or fox is a zoo type of AWAS. AWAS is who? He took over Aleister Crowley in 1904, so he come out with what? This book. The Book of the Law, Liber al Vel Legis by Aleister Crowley. So, as we said, 13. Okay, nothing is a secret key of this law. 61, the Jews call it. I call it 880, 418. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 8 is what? 13. So they say in Hebrew, 61 equals God, right? Okay. Okay, let's keep it going. I'm going back to that same book, the ninth arc. So let's continue on. The Oracle 331 is the date AD 331 AD on which there fell from earth several sacred objects, including the Mani formula inscribed on a stone. Okay, so let me go over to this part too also, so you can see what I mean by 333, how it all intertwines. The number 333 has been investigated many times in these trilogies. Here specific reference is made to the dissolution of the mind in the decompositions of nightmare. Okay, nightmare. So you have to go through something in order to get an outcome. Okay, so if you're going through something, that means you have to swim upstream. Swimming upstream, like I said in that book before, swimming upstream only brings out something, the best in you, from the worst being around you, right? Okay, so let me show you more about 31. Okay, the bati may be related to the balasti of Al 354. That's the third chapter, 54. It appears to be some kind of curse. 27 equals Chida, a parable, enigma, riddle, and the present oracle seems set to remain so. However, 403 equals Abian Spear, the stone. Remember it said the stone will fall from the earth as 13 times 31. See how it correlates? The 1 goes to the back and the 3 goes to the front as 31. These numbers is interchanged as in 403. These numbers were of major import to Frater Achet's calculations. He was an occultist too also. He relates to the sapphire star diamond with 13 facets. They reflect 1 to each facet. The 13-letter word of the Ma'ayan that conceals the secret star, Manio, and the method of invoking its balanced energies. Okay, it's countless Shaktis. The number 403 displays the egg, warded on either side of the sacred 7. 4 plus 3, the number of Set Typhon. Okay, this is the 13-rayed star of manifestation. Okay, what I was talking about earlier, the star of manifestation, the stone of the perfect ion by Frater Achet. So you see manifestation, how they correlate with different angles to make a 13-rayed star. So let's go back. So the sacred 7, 4 plus 3, the number of Set Typhons, what I read before. Furthermore, there are 43 angles in the Sri chakra of the Kaula circle, which contains the supreme key to the outer gateways to the mob zone beyond. See how I told you, I put everything together, 333, and how 13 and 31 is the same, but 13, 12 plus 1, 12 zodiac, 12 disciples, 12 months, King Arthur in the round table, and then the dot inside is you. You are your own deity, your own higher self. So you control those, or you have to be all of those, just like you be all the disciples, all the constellations, all the zodiacs too also, throughout those months in that year, in order to raise yourself up. So as you see right here, the supreme key to the outer gateways of the mob zone. So if you were rooting for a certain team, it's not made for that. Our ancestors put that in. They actually put that in front of us, just like how they put movies, cartoons, or what else? Video games, comic books, any way we can get the information. However they put it in, because these people go to school for mythology. So all we have to do is, as highly melanated people, so-called black people, which you can see my skin right here, we're actually in one of the lowest positions right now. But we've been so high, as in, I'm not even talking about Egypt. I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about before Atlantis. I'm talking about way before we was in these physical bodies. All our ancestors are showing is the time is speeding up, but it's speeding up backwards. We're only going in time intervals. So when we die, as highly melanated people, so-called black people, have souls, we got to keep coming back here till we get it right. And we're getting very, very close. Here's why. 43 as 403 as 13 times 31 is 403. But you take out the 0, the number 403 displays the egg, because the egg is the 0. right? So you can cancel out the 0, and that what the egg is what you're supposed to grow into or hatch into. We're supposed to be mutating into something way more powerful than this physical body. So there are 43 angles on the Sri chakra of the Kaula circle, which contains the supreme key to the outer gateways and the Mauve zone beyond. So that's outside of this stratosphere, outside of this dimension, way out there. Like, it's like the Milky Way and the black hole. The black hole is your heart. Lead with your heart. So 43 also denotes la ba, to love, and in the list of primes 22, 43 is described as a number of orgasm. They say when you're having when you're coming as a male, you like you feel what a deity or a god feels like. But when you have an orgasm, the orgasm can last forever, as long as you stay strong while you inside that thing. You know what I'm saying? When you inside that woman, like, you gotta stay strong. You can't come and say, oh, that means you coming back down to earth. Stay inside, because the sperm comes from your brain. It's brain fluid. Okay, but I have videos dealing with that too also. Let's keep going. A number of orgasm. 43 also, MG, a maj, as means a magician. Chala, a sacrificial cake. 43 being one less than the number of DM, blood, suggests that the ingredients of the cake are as described in L3, chapter 3, 24. 44 equals avitichi, the black interval in outer space, sunless, moonless, the ultimate absence of light. No stars at all either. So just, the spaces between the dots. According to a footnote to a letter from Kut Humi, for who falls into Avicii, there is no rebirth from it. That means the darkness. Once you go to the darkness, you don't have to come back. So get it right while you're here. Stay on your path. The last video that came out before I'm coming out with this video is called on your path, on your journey. It is the cold hell, the great Naraka. Avicii, some Avicii is also termed Mia Laba, estate claims Helena Blavatsky, to which some soulless men zombies are condemned on this physical plane. All right, that means, hey, you don't come back. When you die, don't go to the light, go to the darkness. All right, peace. 333 just passed.